Hey everybody, Mike Ryan here with Big Stick Bourbon. Want to talk to you about our Big Stick stories. We interview veterans, friends of ours. We're going to ask them about their career in the military, what they did before and after, and share some interesting thoughts, and hope you enjoy our show. So I got with me today Bill Walden, Marine Corps veteran for 10 years?
10 years.
10 years, 10 years. And then a dear friend of mine, after that, I know he went to A&M. So for those Aggies out there, he's one of them. He's one of the brothers.
I bleed maroon. Yes.
And he got his college degree after he went into the service. So that's also very commendable. But we're going to just ask some questions and kind of roll with it for 15 or 20 minutes. So thanks for coming over. First
No
of all,
problem.
cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you. And we just going to celebrate the Marine Corps birthday this week.
Sunday,
There you go.
November 10th. That's when all the Marines go nuts. And
1775.
we tell everybody that it's our birthday. And
So a little history, right? Where was the Marine Corps formed?
in a bar.
In Boston, because that's where they're supposed to be, in a bar in Boston.
Bar
And
in
they were
Philadelphia.
called the Marines.
I have to correct Mike.
Uh-oh.
Ton Tavern in Philadelphia.
Oh, Philadelphia?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So it was Ton Tavern.
See?
If I'm not wrong, but it was Ton Tavern. And we were born in a bar. And we let everybody know that on November 10th.
Absolutely.
We were born in a
yeah.
bar.
So we're upholding tradition.
That's right.
There you go. All right. Well, so first of all, happy birthday, Marine Corps. God bless
on
you all.
that.
Cheers. What was your nickname? Tell me what your nickname was.
Oh, no, we're not going that way.
Yeah, well, you're just finding stuff, right? You acquire things?
Oh, yeah, you don't pick your own nickname.
No, yeah.
So my nickname in my unit was Gunslinger 66. Sounds really cool, right? Hey, Gunslinger 66, this is so-and-so. You know, I've got a tango at 6 o'clock on your tail, right? And I'd turn around and look. But how I got the nickname is we were on the pistol range, and I decided I was going to put my pistol in my holster and sling it like John Wayne and try to quick draw and shoot. Well, when I quick draw, I damn near shot my foot off, and all the guys are yelling at me, yeah, get it again, Gunslinger, do it again, you dumbass. So I got Gunslinger 66. That was my call sign. And I'm like, everybody that heard it, oh, that's Gunslinger. I mean, you don't mess with him. But then all the guys were like snickering behind me, yeah, you don't know.
Yeah, he's
a dumbass. That's why he's called Gunslinger. We had this one guy, his name was Blue. His last name was Blue, B-L-E-A-U. Well, his dad was Sergeant Major of the 7th Marine Regiment. And Blue got to the Philippines and fell in love. And we're like, we cannot let your dad know. There's no way. So we handcuffed him to Iraq. He was going to marry this girl. Knew her for like 24 hours, was going to marry this girl. And we tackled him and handcuffed him to a rack, a bed, and he was dragging that bed. And he was trying to figure out how to get it out the door. And he was going to take that bed with him down to the courthouse and get married. We're like, you're not going. We were like tying him down, and finally, one of the senior staff NCOs came in and said, no, you're not going. And Blue's like, I'm going. He goes, really, you want me to call your dad? And that's when it ended. He's like, nope, we're good. I'm good now. I'm like, not messing with me. Now, the fun times like that. What else do you want to know?
Well, you said you had to acquire other things for other people for special projects.
Yeah, so I was the scrounger of the battalion. I worked in S3, and I was the scrounger of the battalion. The rule was I would go get what you're looking for, because through proper channels, you're not going to get it. And when I brought it back, you couldn't ask where I found it. That was the only rule. And the lieutenants would ask, where'd you get this? And I'm like, no, rule number 1. Like, oh, no, you have to tell me. I just gave you an order. And I said, well, go talk to the battalion commander, because he's the one that, he's backing me up on this. They needed a sheet of 10. I ended up with a pallet of 10. I got yelled at because, what are we going to do with a pallet of 10? I was like, I don't care. You got your sheet of 10. Like a tin roof. I stole ice cream from the back of Korean stores so we could have ice cream. Things like map pins that you would think would be so readily available, because you would have units marked, and this is where this unit is and that unit on the big map, right? We got to know where everybody is so we don't call artillery in on you or something like that. And map pins. What was some of the other crap that I did for him?
How'd you get map pins?
Huh?
How did you get map pins?
I knew a guy in another battalion, one of the warrant officers in another battalion, and I went in there and talked to him. He says, okay, well, yeah, no problem. We'll get you some map pins. And he started pulling them off the battalion bulletin board, and all the papers were falling on the floor, and he was just putting them in my hand. I was like, he's like, don't worry about it. just put them, and I carried them back, and I put them on the desk, and I went like that, and I go, where'd you get those? And I go, rule number 1, right? Don't ask me where I got them. They were like, he just comes up with shit. So you have a budget for morale, welfare, and recreation, right? And that budget has to be paid. That's where that money goes. Badminton rackets, whatever. And we had this thing, and we were out of money for MWR, and the guys wanted to play softball. So I came up with the bats and the gloves, and they were like, where'd you get those? I'm like, rule number 1, don't ask. Actually, I stole them from some Navy unit about 3 miles down the road. Well, you guys left them on the ball field. They were fair game, right?
There you go.
And we got tired of walking in Saudi, first Gulf War, we got tired of walking, and some poor Army private left his deuce and a half unlocked, so we commandeered it. We weren't walking anymore. Everybody jumped in and was like, anybody know how to drive this? And one of the guys in my unit said, yeah, I can drive it. I'm like, drive. Everybody pile in. You know, I don't know how we fit everybody in the back of that thing, but we did. We were hanging out the back. Legs were sticking out the back as we're driving down the road. We didn't care. We weren't walking. I don't know what happened to that truck either. They had to account for it somewhere. And when we parked it at the airport where we were getting on planes, we parked it. That's fine. Y'all can have it. We don't want it anymore.
Long-term parking?
Get on the plane. Yeah. It was veterans parking. That's what it was. Jay McKee chasing us in Korea because we were all drunk. He's like, oh, y'all were like herding cats. I'm never watching you. I'm never going to be the non-drinker ever again. It's like, you guys are impossible. And don't get in the cab. Because he would put, he told us the story. I don't remember this, but he said, I would put you in the cab, and then you would scoot over and get out the other door as I was sticking chain in the other side, and I'd have to run over there and put you back in. And then you were screaming at the cab driver, hubba hubba honcho, and I'm going, no hubba hubba. You tell the taxi driver in Korea, hubba hubba, that means go as fast as you want, get me where I need to go as fast as you want, I'll take the speeding ticket if you get pulled over. And Jay's yelling, no hubba hubba, and the Korean taxi driver's just dying laughing. They all have karaoke in the taxis. So our drunk asses are in the back seat singing karaoke. No idea what we were singing, but we were like, yeah, yeah. 20-something years, I wasn't even 21 years old. I turned 21 coming back. I had 2 days of my 21st birthday. Because I turned 21 in Korea, then flew back, crossed the international date line. I had another day at 21 birthday. So the guys took me out for 2 days in a row. Yeah. So, yeah, those were good times, man. Jay McKee, I wonder whatever happened to him. He was from Iowa or something like that. He was so proud his wife and him had a baby before we deployed, and his wife sent him a picture of his little boy in this, like, the number 10 bathtub, number 10 basin, the 10,
right,
sitting in there, and it had like a shampoo bottle next to it, whatever, and Jay's looking at it, and I'm going, well, that's pretty cool, Jay, that's outstanding. He's like, yeah, but when you get rid of that, put a beer bottle right there or something. It's like, this is too much. I'm like, whatever. Trying to think of other stupid crap. So if you were on your first deployment and you were like a little naive, in Okinawa we would have what's called hurricane watch. And we would make the new guy, he didn't know any better, we'd make him get his poncho on, get all his field gear on and poncho on, make him carry a broom so we could see him, and we'd tie a rope between the two barracks, and he had to walk between the two barracks. Gunny would come by, what is he doing out there? Like, he's on hurricane watch. Get his ass in here. like, no, he's on hurricane watch, Gunny. Do you see a hurricane? I don't even see a raindrop, and there's no cloud in the sky. Get his ass back in here. Like, all right. Hazing in the military, they talk about hazing in the fraternities. Doesn't even come close. Doesn't even come close. We had fish sandwich, and we would take the new guy, and we would wrap him in 2 mattresses, and launch him off the second deck to see how much he was going to bounce. Like, bing, bing, bing. Again, gunnery sergeant walks up, what are y'all doing? Stop throwing him off the second deck. But Gunny, he's in a mattress. I'm going to... It's like...
Sounds like the gunny had a hard job.
Oh, that's the worst job in the Marine Corps, is the company gunnery sergeant. Because he's got all these not yet 21-year-olds that have nothing else to do but get into mischief, right? Do stupid shit like that, you know. And he would come around, would you stop doing that, you know? Not supposed to have beer in the barracks, but he kind of looked the other way until you had a whole keg in the shower. He's like, yeah, that's kind of crossing the line. I don't mind a six-pack, but don't, no. I was like, but Gunny, you want a beer? Yeah, give me a beer. We had, you know, you'd hook up with the senior staff NCOs, and they were, when you wanted to hook up with somebody cool, you hooked up with the master sergeants. They were usually on their third or fourth wife, their fifth Harley, you know. They didn't care. They had hit E9. You weren't telling them anything. Who was going to tell them what to do? They would. So, sergeant major and master gunnery sergeant are the same in the Marine Corps, both E9. And you would have first sergeants trying to tell master gunnery sergeants what to do. And these guys are crotchety, old, salty. And they would look at them and go, "No, mind your own business. Yeah, you don't tell me what to do. I tell you what to do." But they would come around and they're like, "Hey, you ever got any beer in the barracks?" "Sure, guys, it's right there." "Give me a beer." You know, he's supposed to be the one telling you not to have the beer. No, he's got beer. Or the bourbon. Or
Yeah, right.
Southern California, it was always tequila.
Oh, that's right.
We'd
yeah.
bring back the little black bottle
From Tijuana.
not from Tijuana, but going down into Baja.
Oh, Baja, okay.
Yeah, we'd go down into Baja and surf down in Baja. We'd go to Ensenada or Encinitas down there. Encinitas or Ensenada? Anyway, 2 hours south, just rent a bungalow for like $20 a night. Pack 10 guys in there and party on the beach all night. Eat lobster. They'd bring lobster to us by the plate. You know, it's drink tequila until you become invisible. Not invincible, invisible.
Right.
You know, then you have to go rescue the guy. No, come back. You can't keep. You cannot jump off the cliff in the water. You know. Again, the things that we don't tell our children nowadays. And when I told my son, I'm like, you can't even think of half the shit that I did. You know, no, you're not doing it.
Hey, you made it. It's okay. It's all good.
I lived. Yeah. That's what we say. You lived, right? And they're not talking about, oh, you lived a great life. No, you lived. You're not dead. It's like, dumbass. And we'd strap a new guy to the front of a Humvee and drive around and go as fast as we could and then hit the brakes, see if we could break the ropes to get him to launch off. Oh, what are you doing? Don't do that. Oh, yeah. The stupid shit we did.
That's right. And nobody got hurt.
No, we got hurt.
Officially.
When you're in sick bay the next morning with a broken collarbone and they ask you, how'd you do that? Well, you know, the guy strapped, they dared me to hang on to the loops in the Humvee, the tie downs. And then he hit the brakes and I flew forward and I rolled and I broke my collarbone. Like, okay, don't tell him that. Just tell him you tripped. The sad part is our corpsman was usually with us. Got some more tequila? Yeah, chug it down. We would have, talk about hazing, take the new guys, we'd have worm races. So you get a bottle of mezcal. What's in the bottom of the bottle of mezcal?
The worm.
The worm.
Yeah.
And this new young Marine just out of, you know, infantry training school or whatever the infantry training regiment, whatever it was called during the time you went. I can outdrink you. Well, we're salty. We've already been in the fleet you can't outdrink us. That's just not happening. So we challenged him. Okay, you want a worm race? Like, what's that? I was like, let's see who can get to the bottom of the bottle of tequila first. Well, when you turn it up and you start chugging, what happens to that worm? Glug, 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 and it stays on the top. And they don't know to stick their tongue in the top and let that worm float down and you just go, done. Well, he's sitting there chugging a bottle of freaking tequila, and next thing you know, Master Gun walks around and goes, yeah, you better stand him up in the shower so he doesn't drown in his own puke. You're responsible. I better see him tomorrow morning. Oh, crap. You know, or put him up in a bathtub where somebody's apartment. You know, those lessons I learned, I carried into Texas A&M. Like, how much you had to drink? Oh, he can't stand up straight. Go put him in the bathtub. Run the cold shower on him. And they were all listening to me. And again, I was taking keys until the night that I started drinking. And they'd never seen me drink like that. I'd have my drink and I'd walk around. But they hadn't seen me drunk. And I got drunk one night, forgot where I hid the keys, so nobody could leave. Where the keys? I don't know. Fuck you. Go find your own keys. Who was going to challenge me? Like,
Yeah.
you know, go find your own keys. I need my keys, Bill. Tough shit. Walk home. You only live like a mile down the road.
Right.
Walk. Oh my God, that's a mile. Really? It's a mile. You can make it in 10 minutes. 5 if you run. You know. But those things I carried over into Texas A&M. I wouldn't let them drink and drive. I would not let them drink and drive. Take their keys. And one of the guys, he wanted to fight me for his keys, so I threw him over into an empty field and said, go find your freaking keys. To this day, I don't think he found his keys. Like, you're not driving. You're just not driving.
So you always get better stories after about 1 or 2 drinks.
Yeah.
All right, well, anything else you want to add? Your jungle, any other jungle stories?
No, we're good.
Seriously, we should have one more jungle story.
Again, I wasn't in the jungle very much.
Okay.
We were in the sand, and when you're over there, and it was a whole lot of hurry up and wait, hurry up and wait, hurry up and wait. We did. This is a good story. Texas A&M military. So we reformed the veterans organization at Texas A&M. It died out after Vietnam. You know, if you know the story there as to why. But we restarted it when we came back from the first Gulf War. We restarted the veterans organization at Texas A&M. And I was elected one of the officers, you know, vice president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer, right? I got elected to be the treasurer. And we decided we're going to take a picture in front of the United States flag, you know, the national ensign and the state flag. So at the Memorial Student Center, there's an area called the flag room, right? And we couldn't really find one anywhere that was low enough to take a picture of. And I was like, well, let's go to the flag room. We walked over to the flag room. We started looking around. I was like, where's the national ensign? Where's the state flag? This is the flag room. Where is everything? So we started a campaign, and we actually had to go get permission from the Board of Regents to put the national ensign and the state flag up. The state flag that's in the MSC now, we finally got them all posted up. We had a big ceremony. General Hollingsworth, who was Patton's chief of staff, was a Texas A&M graduate, and 3-star general, chief of staff for Patton. He came in and he spoke, and he goes, I didn't realize they weren't in here either. So we posted them up, and the Texas flag that's in there was actually carried across the berm during the Gulf War. So the guy flew it on his Amtrak antenna.
Really?
Yeah, and he donated it, and it hung in the it's hanging in the MSC now. So
Cool.
that was a pretty cool story when he did that. I was like, you sure you want to give this up? He says, no, I know it'll stay there.
Right, yeah.
So
Have a
anyway.
good cause.
Yeah, oh yeah. So yeah, that's all I got.
That's all right. That's good. It's all good. All right, well, that's our big stick story for tonight with Bill Walden. So Marine Corps Sergeant? Sergeant?
I made to sergeant.
Made it to sergeant.
Made it to sergeant.
All right, and an A&M graduate, and we're very happy to have him as a friend. Cheers, everybody. Have a great night. Remember, Big Stick Bourbon donates 5% of profits back to military charities. Thanks. Bye-bye. Cheers.